Hey everybody, it's Sunday. It is Sunday and I am relaxing today. I don't feel like doing nothing. Not one thing. I've been to church. I had good services on today. And I just think I'm just gonna sit back and eat and watch a movie. Hey, have you ever felt like that? Just it's a beautiful day outside, but I just want to be on the inside. But I wanted to share with you something. Last night, I love watching Lifetime movies, especially when I'm off. And I'm just chilling around the house, cleaning up or whatever. They had a particular Lifetime movie that came on last night. I don't know the name of it because I was in and out of consciousness because I was in and out of sleep. But it was about a woman. She was a hoarder, and she would hoard different things in her house. I mean, she was out of control. A hoarder is somebody that holds on to something and don't know how to let it go. And it's really a mental thing. It's something mentally that usually is going on with that person that's hoarding. So anyway, I'm gonna go bits and pieces because hey, I want y'all to look at it yourself, and I don't want to give away anything, but you might want to watch it yourself. But she was a hoarder and she kept everything. The house was a pure mess, a mess. And she had, at this time when I turned it on and watching it, she had three small kids and they was unhappy. You could see they couldn't move around in the house. They couldn't have friends over. Um, they had to keep it a secret that their mother was a hoarder because she didn't want anybody to know. And that's the secret that they lived in all that time. So the kids, they reached out to their aunt, which was the lady's sister. And the lady's sister came over while the woman was at work. And she and the kids cleaned the house really good. I mean, it looked really good when she got home. Everything was in place. Things had been thrown away. It was she can move in there. She can breathe. But that's not what she saw when she got home. She was so upset that they took the time to throw away stuff, that they took the time to clean that house. She was so angry till she didn't want to talk to her sister anymore. She was mad at her kids. She started breaking things. She started crying. That just wasn't normal for her to be in a clean environment. I was like, what? But I mean, I see these stories about hoarders. I do. And it's hard to understand because especially when you're not there and maybe you don't know anybody that do that. So it's kind of hard to understand. But it is a mental issue. And further along, two of her children end up leaving her. I think they went to stay with their aunt. But one stayed. I think it was the younger daughter, the younger girl. She stayed there. And do you know that this young girl went through her whole life living in that mess? She couldn't wash up to go to school every day. She was a smart kid and outgoing kid. She couldn't have friends over because she didn't want them to know the environment that she lived in. She didn't want them to know the problem that her mother had. And it just was awful to look at, you think, and I just started really thinking as I saw this. And the girl was very outgoing. She wanted to go to college. Her mother didn't want to let go of her. Of course she didn't. She didn't want her daughter to leave her because she didn't know how to let go of anything else. So they lived in that misery for a long time. And like I said, I don't want to tell too much of the story. You've probably seen it yourself already, but they lived in that lie for such a long time. They lived in that secret for such a long time. And the daughter wanted to help her mother so much. She would even try to clean up, throw things away. Her mother would make her go get the stuff out the garbage and bring back into the house because she felt like it was something that they needed. And she had a job where she worked every day. Seems as though she wasn't paying her bills because, her mindset was all messed up. And it affected not only her mindset, but her children. And even when her sister came by to clean up the house for her and had the kids clean up and everything, and she got angry with her sister and said she didn't want to see her sister anymore, her sister said, you know what, you're doing the same thing Mama did. You're carrying the same thing that our mother did. Now, so why am I talking about this today? That really, really, really sit with me. Because y'all, you might have heard me say this before. And I have a friend that I talk about this with so much. So much stuff behind us. So many things that we're holding on to. So many secrets that we don't want others to see. You know, we might look one way on the outside, but inside, it's a lot of secrets, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. A lot of things we're hiding from everybody else. In this story, the woman ended up falling. And when she fell, boxes fell on top of her, and she had an asthma problem. She couldn't breathe. She ended up dying. Her daughter found her there. And I know I probably shouldn't tell the whole story because I really want you to watch it, but the daughter found her. And rather than calling the ambulance or calling for help, she started cleaning up the mess. Because she didn't want nobody to know the secret. She wanted to keep her mother's secret. Didn't want nobody else to know. So her mother's lying there dead, and she trying to clean up the mess. She even left to go somewhere with some friends because she didn't want the friends to come in to see what was going on. She hid in the mess. And rather call for help, she just kept trying to clean. And then she kept looking around to see she had so much to clean. She'll never finish cleaning up in order to get her mother out of there. That was such a horrible thing to see, because just like that hoarder and all that stuff, they, not wanting anybody to come around, not wanting everybody to see how you live, not knowing what you're going through. And I faced this with someone before. I faced this, not the hoarder stuff, where they were living in deplorable conditions, but they didn't want me to see the condition they were living in. And they was trying to protect someone else. I say all that to say, let's stop hiding all this stuff that we carry from back here. You know, the stuff that people say what goes up behind closed doors, stay behind closed doors, and they still behind them doors, and you can't even close them doors anymore because it's too much stuff back there. It's time to release and clean up some of that mess. It's time to let go. Even if you know somebody that's dealing mentally with hoarding, seek some help from them. Because it goes from one person to the next, Because that's secret. Don't tell. Don't let everybody know. Just let them see what they see. We can't live like that. We all have issues. We all have problems. You know, the Word of God told us we're going to have trials and tribulations. He knew what we were going to run into, different things that's what's going to happen. But he also gives us a way of escape. And it may look like you don't have a way out. You may feel like you don't have any help, that nobody understands. Please seek some help. Seek somebody to help you to release, to let go. Sometimes we hold on to minor things. When I say minor, clothing that we didn't have for 15, 20 years, and we don't let it go. We hold on to sentimental values of a loved one that we lost. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but sometimes, we hold on to their clothing. We hold on to the perfume they wore. We hold on to so many things. Cars they drove, and the car not even, you can't even use it or drive it anymore. We hold on to those things thinking it's going to bring us some kind of satisfaction, some type of joy. But we have to learn to let go and let God. So even if it's something like hoarding, or if somebody that's just holding on to something and don't know how to let go, or somebody that's living a secret life, they hurting. They don't know how to let you know that they're hurting, and they don't know which way to go. If anything, try to help them. Like this lady, people talked to her. Her daughter had went to a counselor. The counselor talked to the lady. She didn't feel like she had a problem. It's just like a person on drugs, alcohol. If you don't feel like you have the problem, if you don't feel like you need the help, then most likely you ain't gonna want to get it. But if you're seeking some help, if you're seeking to let go of some things, or to drop some of those heavy loads that you've been holding on to for years and years because you want to breathe again, seek some help. Pray and ask God for guidance. Ask Him to place somebody in your path. Ask Him to show you which way to go. Don't be ashamed to ask. Don't be ashamed, because we all deal with something. So whether it's hoarding or just holding on to grudges, hurt, stuff that didn't happen in the house that they tell you don't tell nobody because, and you just can't let go, and you just feel like you chained down in those things, it's time to let go. It's time to release. It's time to let go, let God. He will see you through. I promise you. He will see you through. His promises is yes and amen. And it may not look like it, and it may not, once you start off, it don't seem like it's going like you want it to, but give it a chance. Keep striving, keep going, and ask somebody for help. Don't be afraid. You're not alone. You are not alone. You're not alone. God loves you. I love you. And there's somebody out there that can help you. Let go. Release. And let God. Be blessed, everybody. I hope I can share that link to that Lifetime movie. You would love that. Okay, I'll try it. Bye-bye.